So yesterday we had talked about how to put triangles in order, their angles from smallest to largest based on the side lengths. And so what we're going to start today off with is going the other direction from that. We're going to put the side lengths in order from shortest to longest on this first example based on the angles. So if I'm going to do this based on the angles, I need to know how big all three angles in the triangle are. Do I have that information here on number 5? Do I know all three angles? Do I have the ability to find all three angles? Yes, I know 2 of them, and I need to find angle X. So I'm going to add the 2 angles that I have together, and then I'm going to minus that from 180. I know one of my angles is 51. How big is the other angle? 90. What do I get if I add 51 and 90 together? 141. So now we're going to do 180 minus 141. And what does that give us? 39. So angle X is 39 degrees. Now I have enough information that I can put these sides in order from shortest to longest. The shortest side has to be opposite the smallest angle. Which angle in that triangle is the smallest angle? Yep, X is my smallest angle. And so if X is the smallest angle, what would have to be the smallest or the shortest side? WY across the triangle, right here, opposite that angle. My shortest side is WY. The longest side is going to be opposite the largest angle. Which angle is the largest angle? Angle Y. And so if Y is the largest angle, what would the longest side have to be? WX. So WY is the shortest, WX is the longest. So which one would have to go in the middle then? YX or XY. Remember, when you write the name of a segment, it does not matter which letter comes first. I would like you guys to try that exact same process right there on number 6. Take about a minute, minute and a half to work through that one on your own, and then we're going to compare yours to mine. All right. What's the first thing that you need to do on this problem? Find angle F. So to find angle F, we're going to add the two angles that we have, 45 and 56 together. What do you get when you add 45 and 56? 101. And so then we do 180 minus 101, and we get what? 79. So angle F is 79 degrees. We're still doing shortest to longest. We're still doing our sides. So my shortest side would have to be across from my smallest angle. Which angle is the smallest angle? G, 45 degrees. Smallest angle. So what's the shortest side then? FH. Something I want you guys to notice right here is once I identify my smallest angle, we said that was angle G, the name of the segment that is the shortest doesn't contain that same letter as the angle. Because it's opposite that angle, it can't touch the angle. So we have to go all the way through the triangle. So it's not going to have the same letter in it as the angle when I write that side name. All right, let's do longest next. What is my largest angle? F. There's my largest angle. So what would have to be my longest side? GH. And so which one would have to go in the middle then? Which one? FG or GF. Absolutely correct. All right, let's see if we can apply this idea in a couple real-world situations before we get into any more examples. So let's go ahead and flip the page. Look at number 7. During a game of paintball, opposing teams try to eliminate players on the opposite team. Manny and Lynn are on the same team and want to eliminate Logan from the game. If Manny, Lynn, and Logan are located at the positions shown in the diagram, who is closer to Logan? All right, so we know that Manny and Lynn are on the same team, so they're not trying to eliminate each other. So these two right here, same team. Whoever's closer to Logan is the one who should eliminate him, hit him with a paintball. Before I can decide who is closer to Logan, what do I still need to know in this problem? I need to know the degrees for Manny, yes. So let's take what we know for the other two angles, 39 and 76 degrees, and add them together. What is 39 plus 76? 115. And then we do 180 minus 115, which would give us 65. So the angle here by Manny is 65 degrees. If I want to know who is closer, then I'm looking for a short side, right? What is the shortest side in this triangle? Which 39 degrees is my smallest angle. What's my smallest side? between Lynn and Manny. These teammates are standing closest together of these three people. Do we care about who is closer to, like, between Manny and Lynn? Who's closer? No. I want to know who's closer to Logan. So let's maybe turn this around and look at, well, who's the farthest away? Because then I would want the other person, right? Which side would be the longest side?
76 degrees.
76 degrees is opposite the longest side.
The distance between Logan and Manny.
Which is opposite there. So here's my longest side. So who would be closer then? If the longest distance in this whole triangle is between Logan and Manny, should Manny be the one to take Logan out with a paintball?
No,
Lynn should. Lynn is closer to Logan. Come on. Lynn is closer to Logan. It says to explain your reasoning. My reasoning would be the angle, opposite, the Lynn Logan side of the triangle is smaller, that's why they're closer, than the angle. Opposite the Lynn Manny side of the triangle. Or sorry, the Logan Manny side of the triangle. Right. I want to see if you guys can look at a real world situation that's similar to this, using the reasoning that we've come up with, talking about shortest sides and shortest angles, longest sides and longest angles. Look down at number 8, and I want you guys to try to answer that one on your own. I'm only going to give about a minute and a half. I want you to determine who Lucy should throw the football to. What do we need to know before we can answer who Lucy should throw the football to? Yep, we need to find the angle up by Gabrielle. So we're going to take the two angles that we've been given, 61 and 46. We're going to add them together, which would give us what? 107. Then we're going to do 180 minus 107, which gives us 73. So 73 degrees up here by Gabrielle. Lucy this time doesn't want to throw, like last time we were looking for the closest between Lynn, Manny, Logan, but now we want to pass the football the farthest distance. So if I want the farthest distance, do I want the shortest side, the longest side, or the medium-sized side? I want the longest side, which means I need to look for which angle. I need to look for the largest angle. What angle up there is the largest angle? Gabrielle, 73 degrees, yes. Here's our largest angle. So if the angle by Gabrielle is the largest, what side of the triangle would be the longest? Yes, in between Diego and Lucy. Here's the longest side. Lucy wants to throw her football the farthest. Should she throw the football to Diego or to Gabrielle? To Diego. Lucy should throw the ball to Diego. Did they ask me to explain my reasoning? Nope, then I'm good. I can leave that as my final answer there. Nicely done. All right, let's look down at the bottom of the page now. We've got a couple more examples where we're going to be taking these triangles, putting things in order from smallest to largest, or possibly from largest to smallest. Flip it around the other way. What makes number 9 different than the problems we were doing earlier is we're going to list the sides and the angles from shortest to longest. What do I need to know before I can do any of that? I need to find angle G. So I'm going to take the two angles that I do know, 55 and 62. We're going to add those together. What do you get when you add 55 and 62? 117. And then we're going to do 180 minus 117. What does that give us? 63. So angle G is 63 degrees. We're supposed to go shortest to longest. Would it be easier to do sides or angles first? Angles. So smallest to largest on my angles. What is the smallest angle? 55 degrees, which is angle F. So angle F goes first. Which angle would go next? Angle E would go next. And my biggest angle would be angle G. So there's my three angles in order from smallest to largest. All right, now let's do our sides from shortest to longest. We said that angle F was the smallest angle. So what would the side be that is the shortest side? GE, right down here. So corresponding across from angle F is side GE. Now I want you to notice, when I do my smallest angle, the smallest side does not have the same letter in it as the angle. My side is GE, my angle is F. I should never see the same letter show up in my side as I do in the angle in the pieces that correspond. All right, so what should go in the middle? If GE is my smallest, and then angle E we said was the next, so what side is across from angle E? GF. And then we're going to come over and we're going to do our longest side. We said angle G was the biggest angle. And so what would be the largest side? FE, right over here. So now we also have our sides in order from smallest to largest. I want you guys to do number 10 on your own before we check it together, but pay really close attention. Do I still want it smallest to biggest? No, this time I want largest first. So take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I want you to put the angles in order from smaller or from biggest to smallest, and I want you to put the sides in order from biggest to smallest. Do you guys want to do sides or angles first? Sides. Why? Yeah, they gave us all the sides, so we should be able to pick out which is the biggest and which is the smallest. So what is our biggest side? XY or YX at 8.7. There's the largest side. So again, XY or YX. There's my largest. So I could kind of do the angles at the same time, right? Because if I know which is the largest side, I know the angle that is opposite that is my largest angle. So what's my largest angle? Z. Angle Z. All right, let's do the middle-sized side next. Which side would go next? XZ. What angle would go in the middle then? Y. Angle Y. Notice XZ doesn't have Y. These should never have the same letters when I'm corresponding. Which one goes in the middle? Or which one is the largest? Or which one is the smallest? Between the side and the angle, I should not have the same letter. It should be different letters there. Otherwise, I didn't go opposite. I didn't go through the triangle. All right, and then we have our shortest side. What is our shortest side? YZ. And so what would the smallest angle be that corresponds with that? Angle X. Very nice work. So there's my sides and my angles in order from largest to smallest. There are 2 more problems that we're going to look at today, and then we're going to shut things down so you guys have a little bit of time to work on the homework that is due tomorrow. Flip your notes over to page 13 for me. It says find the value of X, then list the angles and sides from shortest to longest. How in the world are we going to find X? Yes, we're going to add the angles together and equal them to 180 because we know the 3 angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. So the measure of angle M plus the measure of angle N plus the measure of angle O equals 180. Angle M is 7x plus 2. Angle N is 8x minus 3. And angle O is 5x plus 1. Equal all that to 180. And now we need to combine some like terms together. So let's combine our x's first. I have 7x, 8x, and 5x. What will those 3 combine to give me? 7, 8, and 5. 20. So I have 20x. And now I need to combine my constants together. I have a plus 2, a minus 3, and a plus 1. What happens if I do 2 minus 3 plus 1? We get 0. So I have 20x plus 0 equals 180. Do I have to worry about a plus 0? No, so that's just 20x equals 180. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 20. And that means x is what? X is 9. All right, so we did the first thing they asked us to do. It said find the value of x. We figured out that x is 9. It says then list the angles and sides from shortest to longest. So how do I figure out what the shortest or smallest angle is? How do I figure out what the biggest angle is? Yes, we're going to take our value for x. We're going to plug it into all of these expressions. So up here for angle M, 7x plus 2. So we're doing 7 times 9 plus 2. What does that give us? 65. So 65 degrees for angle M. Angle N 8x minus 3, so we do 8 times 9 minus 3, and that gives us 69. So this is 69 degrees. I think I'm going to write angle M in instead of just drawing an arrow. All right, and then we do the same thing for angle O over here. 5x plus 1, so 5 times 9 plus 1, which gives us what? Gives us 46 degrees for angle O. All right, so now we want our angles in order from shortest to longest, or smallest to largest. What is the smallest angle? 46 degrees, which is angle O. So angle O goes as my shortest. And so what would be the shortest side then? MN. All right. Which angle goes in the middle? 65 degrees, which is angle M. What side would correspond to that and so belongs in the middle? NO. And then we need longest or biggest. What's our biggest angle? Angle N. And what side would correspond to that to be the longest side? MO. Very nicely done. So we have our angles and our sides in order from shortest to longest. We have one last problem that we're going to look at today. Problem number 12. And this gives us a chance to go back and revisit the first couple problems we did yesterday in your notes. So if you want to flip back to page 10 and look at examples 1 and 2 while we're doing this, that might help you a little bit. It says, list the angles that satisfy the stated condition and can be proven true. Measures are greater than the measure of angle 1. If it says greater than, then I'm going to look for exterior angles. Which means this angle here that they've given me has to be an interior angle. That's really important when I come over here and I look at this picture. Angle 1 is inside this triangle right here. It's inside a larger triangle as well, but let's look at this little one first. I want to be looking for exterior angles so that I know that it is bigger than angle 1. What is an angle that is exterior to this yellow triangle?
3.
Angle 3. So the measurement of angle 3 is greater than the measurement of angle 1. I can't do angle 7, unfortunately, because an exterior angle is formed by a side of a triangle being extended like this or like this. So if I'm looking at this side of the triangle being extended out, this whole angle over here would be an exterior angle. Angle 7 is not that whole thing. I don't know if angle 7 is bigger than angle 1 or not. But I do see that angle 1 is also inside of this much larger triangle. Is there an exterior angle for that triangle that I could look at? Angle 5. So angle 3 and angle 5 have to be bigger than angle 1. The next three examples all say less than. If greater than meant that I had to look for an exterior angle, what do you think less than would mean? Look for an interior angle. Which means these angles that they're giving me out here would all have to be what type of angles? They all have to be exterior angles. If I'm looking for an interior angle, they're giving me exterior angles. All right, so let's come over here and look. First one they give me is angle 2. Well, here's angle 2. Angle 2 is inside a triangle, isn't it? But am I supposed to look at it as an inside interior angle? No, I'm looking for interior angles. We said angle 2 has to be an exterior angle. So I need to put angle 2 on the outside of a triangle. It's on the outside of this triangle right here. Do you guys see that? If they want me to find something less than, then the one they're giving me has to be on the outside. And I'm looking for the remote interior angles that correspond to that angle. What are the remote interior angles inside that yellow triangle? 4 and 7. So the measure of angle 4 and the measure of angle 7. Because they don't touch angle 2 and they're inside the triangle. Yep. That's what it means to be remote interior. It doesn't touch my outside angle, but it is inside the triangle. All right, the next one they gave us was angle 3, which is right here. And we're supposed to look at that as an inside or an outside angle? We're supposed to look at that as an outside angle. Again, we want to find things that are smaller than that, so we have to look at it as an outside angle. I know angle 3 is inside this triangle right here, but I don't want to look at it as an inside angle. Angle 3 is outside of this triangle right here. And so what would the remote interior angles be that correspond to my exterior angle of 3? 1 and which one? 1 and 6, yes. Measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 6. Can't do angle 2 because it touches my exterior angle. That's a linear pair. That's not a remote interior if it's a linear pair. All right, last one is angle 5. Angle 5 is out here. It's easy to see that he's an exterior angle. He is exterior to 2 different triangles. Let's look at the smaller one first. He is outside of this triangle right here. What are the remote interior angles that would correspond to angle 5 in this yellow triangle? 3 and 7. So the measure of angle 3, the measure of angle 7. But angle 5 is also exterior to this larger yellow triangle. What would the remote interior angles be now? 1 and then 6 and 7 together. These are the remote interior angles of this larger triangle. So it's also bigger than the measure of angle 1. And angles 6 and 7 put together there's one more angle. If angle 5 is bigger than angles 6 and 7 put together, then angle 5 has to be bigger than angle 6, and angle 5 has to be bigger than angle 7 separately. Look at it this way. If angle 5 was, let's pretend that's 50 degrees. And when I add these two together, it's smaller, like say 35. Well, whatever numbers I added together to get 35, each of those numbers by themselves will be smaller than this 50 out here. So angle 6 and angle 7 by themselves are smaller than angle 5. So I have to include angle 6 by itself on my list, because 6 and 7 put together are also smaller. Unfortunately, we have run up to like the last 2 minutes, so I apologize. I was really hoping for homework time today, but it did not happen. Homework is still due tomorrow. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so why isn't it 2?
Angle 2 is not an interior, a remote interior angle. So you have to look at the corners of the triangle.
Right.
Angle 2 is not in a corner of this triangle.
Okay.
And angle 2 is also not in a corner of this triangle.
Yeah.
That's why we can't do angle 2. Angles 2 and 3 are a linear pair.
Yeah.
And I know that angle 3 is smaller than angle 5, but I don't know anything about angle 2.